I'm sitting on a bus and I'm staring out the window. I'm wondering if I turned the downstairs lights out because the energy bill last quarter was through the roof. And I'm going to be in real trouble if I've left those lights on. Did I flick that switch? Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Why is my boss calling me this early? Ring, 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 ring. Did I have a court appearance that I forgot about this morning? Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Alana, it's Tony, your boss. You've got an hour to do a TED talk. You good? Mrs. Ware will call you shortly. Well, I can't dare to do a TED talk. I literally have nothing to say. There's nothing interesting about my life. The most interesting thing is whether or not I left the downstairs lights on. Well, I mean, I guess there's the time that I dared to audition for that performing arts school in Hollywood when I was 19. You know, that one that Kirk Douglas and Paul Rudd and Kim Control went to, but I'd never get into that kind of school, would I? I'm standing in a pub in Galway, and there's a big fat chicken schnitzel in front of me. I love chicken schnitzel. It's really good mushroom gravy too. You know when it's good because you can actually see the mushroom in it, so you know it's a legit mushroom. Tomorrow they're holding auditions for that acting school in Hollywood, but auditions are in London and I'm in Ireland. And that's why I agreed to go on this little Irish jaunt, because I knew I wouldn't be back in London in time to audition. Because there's no point. I'll never get into that school. It'll just be a big fat waste of time and money. What's the time? Oh, it's 10:30 p.m. and the last plane leaves Shannon Airport at around midnight. Why am I in a taxi with my passport? Where's all my luggage? Did I just leave that in the hotel room? One ticket to London Gatwick, please. I'm standing at the post box. I can see that there's a big envelope inside, but I don't want to dare open it. I can see this little starry logo in the corner of the envelope, and I'm expecting to read, "Thank you for your time in auditioning. Unfortunately, on this occasion, blah, blah, blah." But it doesn't. I open it up and there's visa information in there, like student visa information. I'm going to be a student of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, like the United States of America, the world, the universe. I'm standing in a toilet block in a Mexican restaurant. And I can hear the girl next to me in the cubicle. She's peeing and she's taking a really long time. Because I'm already washing my hands by the time she gets out, even though I went in way before her. So I look up and I see Drew Barrymore walk out of the cubicle. So this woman just looks like a regular person. She just takes a hand towel and I'm still there, still washing my hands over and over because I don't want her to think I'm not hygienic, right? She takes a hand towel and seeing that she's blocking the dispenser from me, and that's probably why I'm just standing there creepily washing my hands for a very long time, she passes one to me. And I say, "Thank you, Drew. I love you." And she does this little bemused, "Hey, Aussie, I love you too." And I tell everyone after that, Drew Barrymore and I love each other. I'm waiting in the bar line at intermission of a student play. Is that Gandalf from Lord of the Rings? Yeah, that is Sir Ian McKellen. Only I don't remember he's been knighted, and he is a sir. So I just waltz on up to him and I pat him on the back and I say, "Oh, hi, Ian. Hi, it's Alana." Like he knows who I am. And then I realise myself and say, "I'm a person who wants an autograph." He's shocked. And so am I. I've totally forgotten myself, and he has too, so he just signs my autograph. I'm standing in the grocery line, waiting for the guy in front of me to finish up with his items. His shopping trolley is so full, and I'm starting to stress out. I'm going to be late for class at the American Academy. A young girl comes over and asks for my autograph. Can this be real? Can this actually be happening? I smile and ask if she's seen the play I'm currently performing in. You know, it's a student play, but it's pretty good. And she says, "Who are you? I'm talking to Johnny Knoxville." The man in front of me turns around and scribbles down his autograph. "Oh, of course, Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, that makes sense. More so than my student play." How can it be that I'm living this life? How did I get to Hollywood at 19 years old? 1 year ago, I was sitting in the Abbotsleigh Senior School Concert Hall, wondering what my life was going to look like after school. I hadn't dared dream I would be living in Hollywood, attending a performing arts school, and shopping for groceries alongside celebs. So what does it mean to dare? Well, the Oxford Learner's Dictionary transitive definition defines it as being to persuade somebody to do something dangerous, difficult, or embarrassing so they can show that they're not afraid. So you need to be bold, and you need to be ambitious, and you need to have courage. But daring to dream is kind of crazy, and it's a bit scary. It's scary to walk up to Sir Ian McKellen and introduce yourself as, "Hi Ian, it's Alana," you know? But it's easy to be daring when you've got a network of people around you who have your back. One of my first ever memories of being on this earth was working out my place in relation to other people and other people's place in relation to me. I recall being very young and sharing a room with my twin brothers, James and Sean. I was still so young that James was sleeping in a cot. We would talk to each other after lights out, which wasn't allowed. And after a few warnings, we would hear Dad's angry tone coming down the hall, telling us he was going to shut the door if we didn't stop talking. We were so freaked out at being left alone in the dark, we used to kick the door after the door had been shut, so that Mum would come and open it for us. James couldn't really get out of his cot very easily. So it was really up to Sean and I to assume this task. After some time, I got to learn that whoever was not under their doona cover when Dad came in to tell us off would endure the bane of his wrath. So I started to kick the door, run over to James's cot, rip the doona off of him, race back into my bed, and watch Dad drive over to James's cot and tell him off. And I'm not proud of this. It was pretty harsh, but the fear of Dad's anger overrode any trace of guilt I might have had. So shortly after several of these incidents took place, James convinced Sean and I that we should jump on top of Mum's blue car roof to climb into the roof of our house where she stored all manner of her trinkets, her special items. So Sean and I busied ourselves passing items down to James, who couldn't reach the roof because he was a bit bigger. Hours later, Dad called us into the garage, lined us all up, and measured our foot size against the footprints on the roof's car. That sneaky little dibber-dobber James had thrown Sean and I in it as retribution for the doona incident. But over time, my stealthy lone wolf tactics receded as our shared experience nurtured camaraderie and loyalty. I recall forcing James into one of my floral green dresses, Mum's yellow sun hat, pearls and high heels, to star as the mother in a play my childhood friend and I had written called The Creepy Babysitter. This is where my acting career really took off. This particular episode was to be filmed for my friend's dad, so we were going all out in applying Mum's red lipstick to James, who sat patiently as I tried various different shades of rouge. The only stipulation he gave me was that I was never allowed to tell his girlfriend, Emily Mowat, who he later married in the school playground aged 7, and I kept my word. Even though I presided over the marriage, I never disclosed to Emily that she was marrying a cross-dresser, true to my word. Because that's what it means to be part of a pack. You can have a go at each other, but don't dare let anyone else say a bad word about it. One of my favourite authors, Rudyard Kipling of The Jungle Book, captures it well. Now this is a law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky, and the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back, for the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. It is only because of my pack that I have gained enough strength, stability, and security within myself to brave huge transitions in my life, to dare to move to England at the age of 18, spending a year working and travelling around there before moving to Los Angeles at 19 and being there for a number of years. Despite this being one of the most exciting times in my life, I felt the pain of separation from my secure network as I battled homesickness, loneliness, loss of friendships, and loss of familiarity. I'm standing at the post office. There's a homeless woman walking through the door. She's muttering to herself. She only got the part because she's pretty. She's not even a good actress. And right there, that was the moment that I decided. That was the hardest decision of my life, deciding to come home, to call my time in LA, to realise I didn't want to be defined by, that girl who went to Hollywood anymore. What is she even doing now? I didn't want to be a 40-year-old waitress still trying to make it. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew where I wanted to be. Home. Daring to dream is scary, but daring to wake up can be even scarier. I had made the decision to move to Hollywood with all the support of my entire network. I recall receiving texts from well-wishers I didn't even know before I set off for LA. Would I be disappointing a whole raft of strangers, not to mention my family and friends, if I were to decide this life is no longer for me? LA doesn't feel fun anymore. It feels tired and lonely. I want to go home, but I don't want to fail. I'm sitting in my kitchen in LA. I'm on the phone to my mum. She tells me it's time that my very old cat be put to sleep. I hang up the phone and I begin to cry. Then I really begin to cry. And then I start howling. Bella is so old, Alana, and you haven't even lived with that cat for over 4 years since you left for England and before you moved to LA. But for some reason in this moment, she's all that is home to me. I decide I must risk the title of failure and dare to give up on what was once my dream and move home. I'm walking through the airport gates. I'm scared there won't be anyone awaiting my arrival because I've told Mum the wrong day because of the time difference. I look up. There's a whole group of people waving and smiling. There's a welcome home banner and a balloon. There's my pack. I can dare to do anything with my pack. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, filling out forms for law school. I'm sitting on an aeroplane, bound for the University of Oxford. I'm sleeping in a dorm room at New College, Oxford, poring over international human rights law textbooks. I'm being admitted to the Supreme Court of New South Wales. And I'm standing in front of a group of young women on a TED stage. Maybe some men too, because it looks like there might be some guys here. Your bright futures are in front of you, and I am promising you that if you all keep your pack close by, you can dare to do anything Thank you.